guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Varshini, and for today's video, as you already know by the title, we're going to be taking a look at the chapter What is Democracy and Why Democracy. So let's get started with the chapter, but before starting, let's check out the learning objective of today's video. The learning objective of today's video is that we're going to be learning the introduction of the chapter and the features of democracy. We're going to be learning two of the features of the democracy. So let's start with the introduction. So an introduction always starts with a definition. Okay, now we're going to be taking a definition of democracy. How can you define democracy? Democracy is a form of government where representatives are elected by the people. It is perfect. Now, Abraham Lincoln has defined it in a more increased, means like a developed manner. Democracy is a form of government which is of the people, by the people, and for the people. No problem. It is absolutely perfect and correct. But this was a very simple definition. It only mentions the right of the people, like it is of the people, by the people, for the people, and the people get the right to vote. Okay, but let me give you an example stating that orange is a fruit, apple is a fruit, pineapple is a fruit, tomato is a fruit. But now, to make it special, we need to elaborate it by telling that orange is a fruit which is sour in taste. Orange is a fruit which has seeds in it. Now, let's take the case of democracy. If we consider the definition, the first definition, what we've learned, that democracy is a form of government where people get the right to vote, we consider calling all the other governments in the world as democratic government. But no, there will be somewhere a mistake. Now, to make it special, we need to elaborate it. Now, to firstly elaborate the form of democracy, we're going to be learning the features of democracy. Okay, let's start with the features of democracy. And the first feature, major decisions by elected leaders. In this lesson, we're going to be learning the features by using the cases of countries. Okay, so the first case of Pakistan. Now, firstly, when we got independent in 1947 from British, Pakistan and India were declared as democratic governments. Okay. Our government was seen very peaceful and gone very well. But whereas there was a trouble in the case of Pakistan. In 1999, General Pervez Musharraf led a military campaign. Why did he do that? He wanted to overthrow democracy. What does overthrow mean? He didn't want democracy in Pakistan. Later, he declared himself as the chief executive of the country. It is a very big post. We'll learn about that in the future. उससे भी उनका पेट नहीं भरा. He was not happy with the post of chief executive. So then, he changed his designation to the president. He started calling himself as the President General Pervez Musharraf. Okay. उससे भी उनका पेट नहीं भरा. He was not happy with that. Then, in 2002, he made a referendum of a 5-year rule extension. Okay. So, he was a president. Maybe people thought for 1 year. He was not happy. He made a 5-year rule extension. Now, you'll ask me, what is the Pakistan's media, human rights organization and the activists doing? Later, they were observing each and every point. They waited to collect all the evidence. And the Pakistan media activists, जो भी वो बोल रहे थे कि this referendum is malpractice and fraud. Okay. In 2002, he issued a legal framework order, LFO. What is LFO? Legal framework order. You can remember these huge forms in short forms. Okay, according to this order, the president can dismiss the central and state assemblies. Okay, now what does that mean? They can dismiss and all. Elections were held in the central and state assemblies. In the central and the state means like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala. In separate states, you have CMs, right? The elections were held. Elected representatives have some power, but the final power lied with Musharraf and his friends. Who friends? Military. Okay, the final power lied with the military and Musharraf himself. So thus, you can't conclude Pakistan under General Pervez Musharraf as a democratic country. Okay, so what do we come to the conclusion? In democracy, the final decision making power lies with the elected representatives. Okay? Now, let's move on to the second one. Free and fair electoral competition. In this, we're going to be taking the case of China. Okay. Elections were regularly held after 5 years of, so we know the rule of 5-year election committee, right? So after each 5 years, after 5 years of time, there will be a new parliament. Okay. The parliament was known as the National People's Congress. In China, you call it as Guangwo Renmin Daibiao Dahui. Okay, remember it. Okay, now National People's Congress has the power to appoint president, obviously, and there were 3,000 members from all over the China. Now you will say that what is the mistake in this? Even our country does this. Now comes the interesting part. There were actually 8 small parties, okay, and one big party. And these 2 parties together were friends, okay. Now, before contesting for election, the candidate needs permission from the parties. Now, this big party is known as the Chinese Communist Party. C-square party. CC party or C-square party. Okay, now only those who are the members of the Chinese Communist Party or the 8 small parties are allowed to contest in elections. Now you will understand that why will the person need to be taking permission from them and why only they are allowed to go and contest elections. That is wrong. So the government was always formed by the Communist Party. So now we can conclude that China under the Chinese Communist Party was not democratic. And thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, please do like, share and subscribe if you want to. It means a lot to me. I hope that you understand this lesson, and please wait for the part 2 of the chapter. It will be released soon in 2 to 3 days. Thank you. Bye.